Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third Shepard webinar. Today we're going to be talking about digital tools, and this will actually be the first of two digital tool webinars that we're going to conduct. Obviously, there's an awful lot going on with technology in the event space. So for this first webinar, we'd like to really just provide you with a good overview of what's out there, and then we'll get into more detail at our second webinar. My name is Richard Anderson, Vice President of Strategy and Marketing for Shepard. So we all know that technology is really developing at a rapid pace in all aspects of our lives, and what's new today, could easily be outdated within the next 6 to 12 months. And it's really critical that we as event organizers are aware of what's out there and how to deploy it. Our attendees experience technology in retail situations and at other shows they attend. So their expectation level is constantly on the rise in terms of having technology to help enable and enhance their experiences at events. And technology can be a tremendous enhancer as well as an engagement enabler between your attendees as well as your exhibitors. And it's critical that we always talk about both, because ultimately, at the end of the day, what we want our events and the tools that we bring to it is to help enable those conversations between buyers and sellers. Let's first start with kind of an overview of categories where we know that technology is helping us. First, we have venue sourcing, then meeting design, lead retrieval, we all know is something that's been evolving quickly over the years, marketing and promotion of our events. Social media is something that continues to be more and more integrated into our events. Mobile event apps also continue to gain in terms of their capability and their integration. Registration and ticketing, attendee engagement, live streaming of events, and event surveys are also something where new technologies can certainly help us. So what I'd like to do first is let's go through and run through each of those categories. And what I'd like to do is just provide you with a list of various providers for each of those. Once the webinar is over, you'll be able to download the PowerPoint, and you'll have a good starter list for you to start doing your own research. Bit of a disclaimer first, our intent is not to endorse any of these companies listed. Although we do business and integrate with several of them, it's really up to you to, see who's the best fit for your organization in your show. Beginning with venue sourcing, we all know that can be a very time-consuming and tedious process, and there are a great number of different resources to help streamline that process. They all specialize in something different in the areas of search as well as planning. I'm sure you recognize Cvent on there as probably the most well-known and the most robust in terms of the offerings that they have. Meeting design and layout. Obviously, we work closely with all of our customers and clients to do exhibition floor planning, but we also know that you have other parts of your event to take care of, and sometimes it really helps if you can get in there and start to start early and begin to lay out what you want each of those meeting and hospitality spaces to look like. So here are a number of different software providers who provide meeting specific tools to help you with layouts of your needs, and most of these are fairly simple, easy to use. Some of them are self-contained apps, and some of them are online based apps, all very easy to use. Lead retrieval. an obvious critical component of all of our shows, but we also know that it's one of the most important areas in which to satisfy exhibitors. It's difficult to have one solution or a one size fits all solution. And I know from looking at a lot of post-event surveys that this is the one area that's really difficult to satisfy all exhibitors. There are a lot of folks getting into this space with a lot more interesting tools. They're more reliable and more robust than the traditional scanners we've all used in the past. Many of these newer tools provide solutions to exhibitors that better integrate with their own CRM and email service provider solutions. One thing I would say, though, that it's important that before you commit to any system is that you really do a good hands-on testing before committing. We just participated in an industry show lately where we utilized the organizer's app, and us, along with a lot of the other exhibitors we talked to, all had it. So it is something that you really want to make sure you try on for size beforehand. Next category, marketing and promotion. Obviously, those are critical, to our brand expansion, to promotion of the event and our organization, and general awareness. Again, many new options for you to consider that will help you get wider and, more importantly, more personalized distribution. If you've just been using lists and an email service provider, you should really take a look to see what's out there. Again, a lot going on. These are just a few of the providers out there. I urge you to get online and really do some research. Social media, again, more and more, it's becoming a real promotion and communications and engagement tool for us for all of our events. And also, again, as our audiences change and grow, they're all tech savvy. They all use social media. So there is a built-in expectation that they're going to be participating in social media at the events. So it's important that you provide good platforms and good methods of broadcasting and good opportunities for them to use it. When harnessed correctly, it can facilitate the exchange of information between all your attendees and really magnify the impact of your program to an audience who wouldn't otherwise know about it. Here we have several suppliers that can help you with a number of different things, including aggregation, social media measurement, as well as displaying your social media feeds on site in an impactful way. Mobile event apps, another extremely crowded field out there. And again, if you've used them in the past, you know that they continue to grow with many new features from year to year. And each provider has a different level of robustness, integration capability, as well as price points. I have a URL down there for something called the Event App Bible. This is something I found earlier this year, and we've shared with a few of our clients. It's about a 94-page guide. It's incredibly in-depth, very helpful, and it really just slices and dices, all of the providers and their capabilities out there, and will go a long way towards helping you, either make a change or even just investigate to see what else is out there in the way of features. Registration and ticketing. Once a painful process for both attendees and planners, technology has created just a plethora of options for a seamless registration experience. I last count, I think there's over 300 different registration solution providers out there. And what you want to look for is a software that really provides a seamless platform for both your attendees and your exhibitors. And as I've said already before, this is something that you really want to make sure that you try before you buy. And also you want to talk to other users. It's important that you really, talk to people who have used the various products and, get a good handle on what works, what doesn't, and what's going to work best for your particular audience and show. Attendee engagement, and experience design are all, something that we're working to increase at all of our shows. These are just a handful of providers who help with that. The intent, of course, is to, really impact participation between your guests, your exhibitors and sponsors, as well as your own organization. And many ways to design it into your plan, and these are just a few to start. Live streaming is something that we're seeing more and more. Dramatic growth of second screen technology and hybrid meetings, is beginning to permeate, many events in our industry. Whether it be just streaming certain sessions to folks who are not attending, which, by the way, I remember early on, the big prediction was virtual events are going to kill the live show. That's clearly not true. And in my experience, I found that when used properly, broadcasting from your event is a terrific way to actually grow your audience, give people a taste of what they're missing, and grow that fear of missing out feeling of your prospective attendees. Another thing that's really starting to take hold, more and more people are using Periscope, which is the application you have on your smartphone that allows you to just personally broadcast anything to your followers directly from your phone. Periscope is a app and service that's owned by Twitter, and I've been trying it out myself, and it's terrific. And I just think it's a great way, again, to have your attendees become advocates and broadcasters of your event to their own followers. Event surveys. As I always say, you can't be successful unless you know what success looks like. And in order for you to define and refine that from year to year, you need to know not only what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, but you really need to stay in touch with both your exhibitors and your attendees of what you might be missing. What else do they need so that they can personally be successful by having attended your shows. The days of coffee hot surveys are long gone. And if you're going to be successful year to year, you really need the right information, which means you have to ask the right questions, which means you have to have the right instrument, and you also have to have the right delivery system. We have several different folks listed up here. The first one is Exhibit Surveys, Inc. They have been in our industry a very long time and are probably the premier consulting organization in terms of not just collecting data and benchmarking data, but also helping you deliver effective surveys. That's it for the list, but I want to talk a little bit about beacon technology. We probably get more questions about this than anything else, and that's because it still is probably about the newest technology out there that's being integrated into events. It's a technology that makes use of both mobile technology and proximity. Without getting too much in the technology of it, beacons are small transmitting devices that communicate to your devices using low energy Bluetooth, or BLE. The beauty of beacons is that they allow targeted messages to be sent to people in the right place at the right time. By strategically placing beacons and combining it with mobile apps, people can receive information and personalized information on their smartphones, greatly enhancing their experiences. And not only does it enhance engagement and communications, it provides you to really add that layer of personalization. Let's just take a quick look through some of the capabilities here. Smart networking. Using one of the things that the technology allows you to do is something called geofencing. And apps with beacons can determine who's in a room or a specific area at any given time. So what it allows attendees to do is to look at their phone and see who of their favorites is nearby. They can glance at a photo for reference and jump right into a conversation with them. Triggered audience response. Speakers are always hungry for audience engagement. Polls and voting are becoming the norm at many sessions. And getting people to those feedback tools, though, whether it's through a web link or a text message, can be a bit pain, and you get low opt-in for that. But with beacons, speakers can pull people directly into the polls for the session when they enter the room and automatically push from poll to poll on everyone's phone. Automated session check-in and a continuing education unit tracking. Beacons can sense when someone enters a room or when they leave it. And by serving up a simple message to people as they enter, an app can allow attendees to check in for each session in real time without the use of a scanner. The app does the rest. It gives organizers and planners a real-time view through dashboards of the session attendance, and it gives the attendees an easy way to track their credits during the event. Next is opt-in lead exchange. Scanners have, as we know, long been the weapons of choice for exhibitors capturing leads. That's changing. Proximity beacons are being used to send an alert after a prospect has spent a certain amount of time in a booth. And a very gentle alert can be sent to the prospect to see if they'd like to receive a follow-up from the company. The result is an opt-in experience like one you might experience online. So it's a real big step forward for marketing at events. Exhibitor booth heat mapping. We all know that exhibitors are nearly impossible to please when it comes to booth traffic. Beacons are now providing real-time data on how many people are visiting each booth, measuring traffic, and how long they're spending how much time they're spending there, which is measuring dwell time. Armed with that data, planners can react to those traffic issues and then, of course, make tweaks to the layout of their event with the intent of delivering more value to their key sponsors. Automated on-site registration. We all hate to queue up in long lines, but with beacon-enabled event apps, meeting planners are now serving up on-site check-in forms to attendees right as they walk in the door. Attendees can then either scan an in-app QR code at a kiosk, or they can check in on the app and just simply pick up the badge. I've got just a few suppliers listed here. Pokin, TapCentive, and LoopD, people that are all doing event work in the Beacon area. And I've also got a link down here that, once you get the deck, download the deck after the webinar. That's a pretty good blog from Event Manager blog about the use of beacons. That'll fill in some blanks for you. I want to talk specifically just about one provider that is doing a really terrific job of really integrating all technology needs and they're using beacons to accomplish most of it. Again, we're not necessarily, really promoting them, but they just happen to have a really good integrated example of and solution for events. Let me just back up one thing here. What you're looking at in the lower left-hand corner of the screen is what they call a Pokin. The Pokin is a beacon device. If you pull it out of its little sleeve there, you'll see that it is a USB. And from a user point of view, what it allows you to do is to connect with people, connect with exhibitors, download information right from wherever anyone has a beacon. You then slip that into your computer or your USB-enabled tablet, and it brings you to your own personalized page for that event. And what that page shows you, it shows you who you all connected with. It provides you with all of their pertinent information. It also shows you what you've downloaded, what booths you checked in at, what sessions you've checked in at. So it is a full, complete log of your activity while at the event, and also allows you to then download any of the information that you've gathered along the way. On the right side of the screen, you see little medical characters. I'm showing those because they also have a whole variety of different characters and figures that you can use it, so you can really personalize it for your own event. Just a quick look at features and benefits. It allows you to really run the full gamut here of networking, digital collection of materials, event management, visitor portals, and so on. I'm not going to read the whole list to you. Again, you can take another look at it once you download the deck after. But the benefits are huge. It really, really helps to boost conversation and engagement, information sharing, lead gen. And just as the attendee has their own portal or their own page, exhibitors also have their own functionality as well. And as the event organizer, you have a complete full back-end dashboard with data that really collects everything for you and shows you in real time, for example, what your room situation is looking like. So if you sense that you might need overflow situations, this will help you get there. So just a few key takeaways. Technology is technology. It's really only valuable if people are engaging with it, and if you keep the human element at the forefront while you're designing your event with technology. It should be an enabler, not just tech for the sake of tech. And make sure you're using technology to build a bridge between your attendees, exhibitors, as well as your own organization. And I've got another link down here that I think you'll find useful. This is a link from BizBash, which has got a wonderful selection of tech tools for you to peruse. That's it from us today. Thank you so much for your time. And as I said, if you head on over to our website, we'll have these posted for you soon. So take care and have a great holiday, everyone.